Okay, here's a quick little video to show how the cone hinges work on aluminum battens. First I should say that this isn't all my idea. All of this was done in collaboration with David Tyler, who just about anybody watching this video has probably seen or know from the Junk Rig Association. So I was lucky enough to spend some time building wingsails with David, and these hinges are what I will plan to use on my eventual wingsails. David's using something a little bit different on his flat panel junk sail, so he's got square section carbon fiber battens or rectangular section carbon fiber battens, so a slightly different hinge works there. But I thought it would be much easier to work in aluminum, so this is why I've explored this type of hinge design. So this is the original prototype here. This lens has got a bit of a fisheye on it, so hopefully it doesn't distort things too much. But this is the original prototype that was turned on the lathe. It's just PVC tube because it was what I had handy at the night that I decided to take on this. That's it looking from the top, and that's it looking from the side. So you can see that right here and right here and here are the bits where the aluminum tube bears against. And if you can look at the assembled one here, this is the one that's been cast in polyurethane from a mold made from this one, and I'll show you that in a second. You can see that the aluminum tubes, when they hinge up to 20 degrees, when they go through their articulation, if you watch the tube carefully against the center point, it doesn't actually rub, it just kind of rolls across the face of it with 20 degrees of articulation. And if you, sorry about the quality of this, and YouTube videos aren't really my thing. What keeps it from falling apart are these lines here that are woven in a figure eight. So above here, then down through, and then out the other side, up, over, down through, out through the side. What this allows it to do is that if you have a flare-up of the sail, it allows it to also go 20 degrees vertically if it has to, but it always kind of pops right back to where it is. And eventually these should probably use Dyneema in them right now. This is just a bit of a cheap piece of Dacron line because that's what was handy at the moment. So that's the key point of the hinge. Large bearing surface in the central area. Aluminum bears against that, and it kind of rolls against it rather than kind of just being like a bolt through where things pivot. The hope is that would reduce wear, but whether it does or not, who knows, although the large bearing surface is going to be a lot of help in that case. The aluminum tubes are cut using a really simple jig with a router, so it's just a piece of wood with an ellipse cut out of it here, so you can see circular section there, circular section here, but it's actually pretty flat in between the two. And that's what allows the tube to have the right shape to roll on the central disc rather than slide on the central disc. And before this gets too long, we'll just quickly show you. Here's the mold. So original piece made. This is just a quick plaster of Paris of mold. You could make a nice one out of silicone if you're going to do a lot of them, although if you've only got 8 or so battens to do, I suspect a plaster of Paris mold would hold up just fine. And that's all it is to it. It's actually fairly simple. I must do a poor job of explaining it to people because everyone who's seen it has thought, oh wow, that's really simple in the end. So there it is, articulating 20 degrees each way. Normally it doesn't. It lays nice and flat. You can see it's bearing against the top and bottom surfaces. But if it's forced to do so, which I'm going to have to do with my foot here holding down one side, then it can provide up to 20 degrees articulation there. And it'll be better with the Dyneema lashings, which won't allow much flexibility. You can see the lines actually run through the central port a bit as it goes. So no line actually gains or loses tension. So you could use something like Dyneema that doesn't have much stretch to it. So that's the hinge. Hopefully that's useful to somebody. And thanks again to David for all the ideas. It was a really useful collaborative effort.